Good afternoon. Respected Madam Principal Dr. S. Kote, the distinguished speaker of the webinar, Mr. Karthikeyan Shanmugam, Dean of Students, Dr. Punitavati Aided and Dr. Anusha Self-Supporting, League Staff Coordinators and students. It gives me immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to you all on the fifth day of the webinar series, Turning Crisis to Opportunities. On behalf of Eti Shakti Students League, Ethraj College for Women, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our esteemed speaker for accepting our invitation to address the students on the topic Life Skills, the Catalyst to Self-Development. Mr. Karthikeyan Shanmugam is the Executive Director of Kennedy Educational Institutions at Dindivanam and a great motivational speaker and life skills trainer, besides donning the role of an educationist, teacher and an agriculturalist. He was a school topper in 10th and 12th and ME and also hold a diploma in psychology from Alaizan University. He is currently pursuing his PhD at Anna University, Chennai. In the year 2017, he was bestowed with the Young and Dynamic Speaker Award given by Manakula Vinayagar Group of Institutions. And in 2018, he received Best Motivator Award presented by the Chief Educational Officer of Viluppuram District for conducting motivational programs for nearly 87 schools in the district. The Times of India in 2018 had published an article titled Inspiring Educationist by honoring the motivational programs that he had conducted free of cost for the welfare of the government school children. He has so far motivated 14,000 college students and about 17,000 school students of various educational institutions across the state of Tamil Nadu. I am very sure a speech would prove to be motivational tonic to the students and would help them in enhancing their personalities and make them walk tall and confidently into the future. I request our distinguished speaker, Mr. Karthikeyan Shanmugam, to take over the session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for a warm welcome and introduction. Hello everyone, I'm Karthikeyan Shanmugam and I'm very glad to meet you all through this wonderful webinar session. All thanks to Ethiraj Women's College for arranging this beautiful webinar session for you. And hats off to Eti Shakti League for introducing young speakers like me to motivate you, my dear sisters and students. And these kinds of webinar sessions will be the useful ones for spending your lockdown period in a useful manner, right? And I'm very sure this session will enhance your skill and enhance your mind, because this is not related to your subject and this is not related to your technical terms and all. This is purely for enhancing your mind to focus on your goal, which will ultimately lead you to develop yourself. And without wasting further time, let me go directly to the session. Welcome. To be a successful person, we should possess some qualities, right? That qualities will ultimately lead us to develop ourselves and to shine in the society. And today, in this webinar, we are going to see such kind of qualities. I have a set of questions for you, 4 important questions for you. You can answer in your mind. And after that, I will tell you how many of you has answered positively for that questions. And the first question, do you have an ambition or a dream life? Do you have an ambition or a dream life? And the second question, are you living the life which you have dreamed? The third question, are you working to achieve the dream life which you want? And the final one, are you working so hard every day to achieve your dream? And now I will predict the answers which you have thought in your mind. The answer for the first question, do you have an ambition or a dream life, would be obviously yes, right? All of us have a dream life. Almost 99% of you should have answered like yes, I do. And the next one, are you living the life which you have dreamed? That is where the problem lies. Some 9 to 11% of you will have the answer of yes for that question. And for the next question, are you working to achieve the dream life which you want? And your answer will be like, yes, of course. That's why we are doing our degree, right? And the final question, are you working so hard every day, each and every day, every minute to achieve a dream? And then the answer would be absolutely not. We have a dream, we are working towards it, but we are not working so hard each and every minute to achieve our dream, right? So what's stopping you? What's holding you back? And these are the reasons. The first one is the ultimate reason, depression or stress, and then the challenges, and the lack of attitude, fear of exams, fear of failure, and the lack of self-discipline and punctuality, and sometimes we don't choose the right persons to follow. We go behind wrong inspirations. So depression, this is the most crucial part which we need to overcome. See, all of us wants to be happy, but we never appreciate what we have. Many persons are always in a depressed state. They always expect a chance to get depressed. They always made any excuses. They always tell any excuses to get depressed easily. And now we have got the greatest chance of getting depression, right? Because of COVID-19, this coronavirus, it's making us to think like we are in a jail. And the next reason we get depressed is we don't appreciate our look. We never appreciate our appearance. Every morning we wake up, we stand in front of the mirror and we will be like, we would have born taller, we would have born with light skin. Lots of complaints we are making on our appearance. So that is also a chance for depression. And then overthinking. We overthink, not sometimes, but many times we overthink so that we can lose our sleep. And peer pressure and competition, nature of exams, worrying about the future, family problems, which will lead us to suicide. So these kinds of things makes us to get depressed easily. We all fear for coronavirus, but there is another virus which is very dangerous than this coronavirus. We got this coronavirus on this year only, but this damn virus has been for decades. It is called as F virus, my dear sisters. Yes, F stands for fear. Just think, corona is not new. We already got polio in the year 1894, and then it came cholera in 1817, and in 1889 we got the Russian flu, which destroyed the entire world. And then came the First World War, and then Spanish flu in 1918, where millions of people have lost their life, and the Second World War, which ultimately leads to Great Depression. And then we fought for our independence till 1947, and SARS virus in the year 2003, and you are already familiar with the term 2012, where everyone predicted that the world was going to end in the year 2012 because the Mayan calendar was going to end. But that's not true, isn't it? We are always under the pressure of something. We are always under the panic of something. So why won't we use this obstacle into an opportunity? What are we going to do in this lockdown period? Whenever someone asked us the question of, are you pursuing a dream? Our answer would be like, sorry, I don't have time. I need to go for college, I need to study, blah, blah, blah. We are answering like, we don't have time. But right now, this COVID-19 has presented us the greatest gift, which is time. We got the time. So what are you doing in this time? Please don't get spoiled in carom board, carom pool, Ludo King. Like the boys get spoiled in Free Fire and PUBG. See, I appreciate some girls have started the YouTube channel. They are pursuing their dreams. They are spending their time in a useful manner, right? Likewise, why don't you pursue your dreams on this corona, on this lockdown? The best thing to do is to turn your obstacles into opportunity. Please utilize this time. So overthinking. Almost all of us has got this problem. How many hours, how many days we have spent our night without any sleep because of this thing? Because this destroys our sleep cycle and it affects our brain efficiency. Not only that, it elevates stress level, which constantly makes us to think the past and come up with the terms like we could have done that, we should have done that, right? So to fight overthinking, I'm going to tell you about the story of Harry Houdini, the greatest magician, illusionist, and the stunt performer. He was so confident that if he was locked, he could come out of any prison within 1 hour. He challenged the entire world. If you lock me in any jail in this world, I will come out of that jail within 1 hour. That was his challenge to the entire world. A very old jail on the south side accepted his challenge. They locked him on a cell. Then Harry Houdini started working. He had a needle which was hidden on his belt. He took that needle and he tried desperately to open the lock of the cell. For nearly 1 hour, he tried so hard to open the lock, but he can't. He couldn't open the lock. And 2 hours, for nearly 2 hours, he cannot do anything. So he gave up. He simply gave up. And then the jail guards came and opened the lock. Then he found out that the jail cell was never locked. He was trying so desperately to open the lock of the cell, which was never locked. Very funny, isn't it? Is the jail cell really not locked? That's not true. The jail cell was locked only in Houdini's mind. Only on his mind, the jail cell was locked. He thought that cell would have been locked by the greatest locksmith in the world. For the challenge which he made to the entire world, the guards should have locked the cell with the best lock. They should have come up with the best lock on the world. But it's very simple, right? The jail cell was never locked. And he tried so hard to open the cell which was never locked in the first place. Like this, in our life, how many times we tried so hard, we overthink for a problem which had a simple solution, right? For all the problems which we think, for all the problems which destroys our mind, for all the problems that doesn't let us to sleep, had a simple solution. We never thought of that simple solution. So for all the problems that destroys our sleep, for all the problems that destroys our peace of mind, we have a simple solution. Please never thought that all doors are locked in our life. The doors are always open. The thing is that, are we ready to open them or not? So don't overthink. The world is waiting for you. Just open the door and let yourself out. So for handling the problems in our life and to come out of the best solution for any problem, I would like to explain about this cockroach theory for self-development. It's very simple. For any problems that we come across or for any challenging situation which we are going to face, we have to respond. We should not react. Yes, we have to respond. We should not react. So what's the difference between reaction and response? I will explain you with an example, with a short story. There was a restaurant in which 4 girls were having their lunch. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a cockroach jumped on the table. What happens when a girl sees a cockroach? Yeah, same scenario. Everyone shouted and they run like they have seen some kind of monster in their life. They shouted and they disturbed the entire restaurant. And then came the waiter. He simply came, he held the cockroach on his hand, he kept it on his pocket, and he simply went. See, for a simple incident, 2 things happened. One, for the girls, they run like they had seen a giant or a monster in their life. And for the waiter, he simply left out with the cockroach. Out of these 2 incidents, which one has got the solution? It's from the waiter, right? He didn't do anything. He simply took the cockroach in his hand and he simply left. So, this is called as reaction. The girls has created a scene which was unnecessary, but for the waiter, he simply found the solution. That is called as response, whereas the thing which the girls had done is called as reaction. For the reaction, we never had any solution. For any reaction which you show for a problem, it will create another problem. But for the response, it will simply solve the problem. So I want you to respond. I want you to give response for any problem which you come up with your life, so that you can solve the problem easily. But if you react on the other hand, it will create another problem and you will be getting in a complicated situation, right? Say for example, if a dad or mom scolds you, you should simply remain silent. That is a reaction. That is a response. If we remain silent means they will shout at us and they will leave. But what we actually do, we will never stay silent. For every words they are giving, we will be reacting. We will be shouting at them. That creates another problem for us. So, response is the best solution you can come up with for any kind of problems in your life. Okay? See what happens when the same cockroach fell on a boy's table. It was the black day for the cockroach, right? Boys would be like, they will be dissecting the cockroach. They will be splitting its hand, they will be splitting its leg, they will be splitting its antenna. Part by part, they will split up the cockroach. It would have met with an horrible death in its life. See, it's also a kind of response, right? So the next one, born as a girl, is it a boon or a curse? There was a research conducted on thousands of girls with a question. Have you ever thought or have you ever wished to born as a boy? Being born as a girl is a curse for you. Once in your lifetime, have you ever thought like, I would have born a boy? Being born as a girl, I have lost my freedom. Have you ever thought like that? When this question was asked to thousands of girls, the results were shocking. Almost 83% of girls answered like, yes, of course. At least once in a lifetime, I thought like I would have born a boy. And the reasons they are considering a gender a curse were pregnancy, periods, restrictions while going out or while talking with somebody, dressing sense, and they need to leave their home after marriage. They cannot stay on their own home because marriage, it made them to change their homes, right? So these are the reasons they consider their gender a curse. And the reasons we consider your gender a blessing for humanity are, you see, girls are soft-hearted. They have soft skin, but they are strong in terms of mind and heart. They are precious. You are precious. You are priceless. You see, a man works for 8 hours a day, but our mother, works for 24 hours a day for our family. Do you know, many women made a revolution in science. The invention of radioactivity was achieved by Marie Curie. She invented radioactive elements. See, Marie Curie was the best woman you can follow because she had come across many worst situations on her life. While she did her degree in Great Britain, I guess, at that time, women were not allowed to pursue higher studies on the country. You know what she did? She disguised as a man to complete her study. See how much spirit she has. To complete her degree, she disguised as a man. And that is why she invented the radioactive elements, because she had a passion for discovery. Likewise, you can find lots of inspiring stories about her if you search through Google or some online resource. Not only her, the structure of DNA was also invented by a woman. Rosalind Franklin, she is the one who discovered the structure of DNA. And the discovery of HIV virus, which causes AIDS, this was also invented by a woman. This was also discovered by a woman, Dr. Flossie Wong Stahl. Not only them, thousands of women are there. Thousands of women are there for you to follow. Mother Teresa, Sunita Williams, Kalpana Chawla, P.T. Usha, Saina Nehwal, Kiran Bedi, Bhakti Sharma, Indira Gandhi, Arunima Sinha. Lots of women are there, my dear sisters, for you to follow. Nurses, you see nurses who are working in hospitals. They are our life-saving angels. You should feel proud about them because they belong to your gender. Not only nurses, teachers. You can see all the primary schools are equipped with the female staffs only, right? Do you know why? Do you know why we all come across female staffs only during our primary classes? During a KG classes, you should have never seen a male staff, only female staffs. Do you know why? Because only female can handle patients and she can only handle responsibilities. Because they are the real caretakers. Girls, you have got so many talents. Find that talent within you and unleash to get stronger and unleash it to get stronger. You see, Saraswati, the goddess for education, Lakshmi, the goddess for wealth, Devi, the goddess for strength. Only female gods are there for all the important things in our life. And not only in Hinduism, Fatima in Christianity and Allah in Muslim, they all were girls, right? See, final word. Girls, you made miracles. You are making wonders. And please get ready to keep going. The world is waiting for you. Be a change-making woman and be the girl who decided to go for it. If you have a dream, go. Achieve it. Go get it. Work hard for it. Do not worry about the challenges. It's not the challenge we are afraid of. It's the fear of failure. We fear challenges because we are afraid of the outcome. But life is a journey, not a destination. We need to focus on the process, not the result. You see, people are not afraid of challenges. They are afraid about the results of those challenges. There was a study, a hospital study. A research was conducted on 100 elderly people. These 100 elderly people were asked about their life's biggest mistakes they have done. And the answers, it will shock you. Yes, they never regretted for the things they have done, but they regretted for all the things that they never tried to do because of the fear and challenges. So for all the things which we are ignoring right now, for all the opportunities we are wasting right now, we will realize and regret during our final moments. For the missed opportunities, for the missed chances, for the things which we ignored during our lifetime, we will realize and regret during only our final moments. So please don't have any regrets in your life. If you want something, go pursue it. Go for it. Go get it. Work hard for it. It doesn't matter whether you get it or not. It doesn't matter whether you win or not. You tried your level best so that you won't have any regrets later. And that's the most important thing to feel proud of. Because we don't grow when things are easy. We only grow when we face challenges. Because the main challenge while we pursue our degree are exams. We naturally hate exam, right? Because we don't have the right attitude towards the exam. See, in a group of 10 people, how am I supposed to choose who will run the best? Who's the best runner? How can I choose? By simply conducting a running race, right? By simply conducting a running race, I can choose who's the most fastest runner on those 10 people. Likewise, in a group of students, how can I choose the best one in terms of knowledge? Then naturally have to conduct an exam, right? So we should not think like exam has been discovered to destroy our freedom. Exam has been discovered to destroy our peace. It has been an opportunity for us. It is an opportunity for us to exhibit our skills. We should have the right attitude towards the exam. Whenever you go for an exam, whenever you face an exam, I want you to have the right attitude. Like, you should always be positive about the upcoming exam. These things should run on your mind. The first thing is, you should be positive about the upcoming exam. And you should think, I know I can do it. No matter how difficult it becomes. An exam is an exciting challenge for me. I feel very confident before and during the exam. It's only a test. I will not be punished and I'm not going to die. Every exam is an opportunity for me to show my knowledge. I know that I did everything to ace the exam with ease. I am in a confident and a relaxed state of mind that helps me to remember everything I have studied. These things should run on your mind whenever you go for an exam. I will repeat it once again, my dear sisters. An exam is an opportunity given for you to exhibit your skills, to exhibit your knowledge to the outside world. So don't think like exam is the one that has been invented to destroy your peace of mind. Okay? Because some of us are like, who invented this damn exam? If that person come before my eyes, I will kill him and I will make sure that he will die a horrible death. That's how much we hate the exam. And whenever we face exam, the one thing we are very good at is making our own stories, right? During the exam time, we will become an actor, we will become the director, we will become the cameraman, we will become the script writer, we will become the producer, of the own answers which we are going to write, which we are going to write, or which we are going to present on the paper, because we never studied on the first place. And talking about story writing, I would like to share a funny joke which happened in one of my schools. I went to school actually. During the day of Gandhi Jayanti, we asked the students to write an essay, to present an essay about Gandhi Jayanti. And one particular student got beaten by the staff members. I asked them, why are you beating him? And they answered, sir, just look at his essay. Just read the essay which he has written. They said like that. And I started to read that essay. The boy started well. The first line was, Gandhiji is the father of the nation. And I was amazed. Yes, he is doing good only. He has done good only. And then why are you beating him? Then the teacher asked me to read more. Sir, read more, read more. Read the second line. And I went on to read the second line. It was like, Jayanti is a beautiful girl. I was like, what? Jayanti is a beautiful girl? Oh, fine. He started his own story. The third line, Jayanti and Gandhiji loved together, and their wedding day is celebrated as Gandhi Jayanti. He presented like that. I was shocked. Wow, what a great love story. Within a fraction of time, within a seconds of time, he come up with a beautiful love story, which is a framed one about Gandhi Jayanti. So these kinds of jokes we are doing during the exam, right? Story writing. Unfortunately, if you think hard during exam time for the answer, these two words will hit our mind. Is called as known as. These two words only hit our mind whenever we try so hard to remember the thing which we have studied. And if you do more, if you act more, if you think more to realize the answer, the sudden thing flashes on our mind are the song lyrics, right? Sometimes, if you think too much during exam time to remember the answer which we have studied, song lyrics will be flashing on our mind. Because that's what we had done on the previous day. We should have listened to all the songs for relaxation. But unfortunately, the lines which you have studied will never flash out. Only the songs which you have listened during the break time flashed out on our mind. That happens naturally. So what I want you to do is, what I want you to have is, you should have a positive attitude towards exams. And I will repeat it again, exams are an opportunity given for us to exhibit our skills. Okay? And we should not fear for the exam, because fear is a prison. And who's the prisoner? You are the prisoner. You prison yourself inside the fear. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Everything you want on your life, everything you wish to achieve in your life is on the other side of this fear. So please realize that you should never fear. Okay? You never worry about the failure. You never worry about the results, because you see, success is not a one-way journey. If you want something, you will fail first of all. Some will thought like, if I do something, if you get fail, you will simply give up. You will simply quit. But I repeat it, success is not a one-way trip. You try, you fail, that's finished. That's not it. You try, you will fail on the first attempt. On the second attempt also, we cannot make sure that we can win. On the second attempt also, you can fail. And third attempt also, you can fail. For the fourth time also, you can fail. But through each and every failures, you would have experience, you would have got some experience on how to achieve next time, right? And on the final try, you will definitely land the success. So please don't think that success is a one-way trip. Success was never a one-way trip. You will fail again and again and again and again, and finally, you will see the success in your life. I would like to talk about lotus. You are familiar with the flower lotus, right? If I ask, what do you know about lotus? Your answer will be like, lotus is a beautiful flower. It is a national flower of our country. It can bloom on different colors. It has yellow, it has white, it has pink. Those kinds of answer you will be telling me. But there is an interesting fact about this lotus flower. Do you know what? Do you know where this lotus grows usually? These lotus grow on mud. Yes. Out of the dirty mud, this beautiful flower blooms. See, in our life, how many times we are telling excuses for not shining? We are telling about our environment. We are claiming about our status. We are claiming about our situations. We always come up with excuses for not blooming, for not achieving anything in our life. But see, lotus, it is coming out of a worst environment, dirty environment, but there comes the beautiful flower. There blooms the beautiful flower out of mud. Like that, I want you to realize that environments or situations can never affect our growth. You can grow, you can bloom as a lotus out of a situation. Realize it. Think it, you will understand. Think about it. I would like to explain you about this interesting fact about chess. Many of you know how to play chess, right? I will explain the pieces which we use in playing chess. They are king, queen, rook, horse, bishop and soldier. And you know about the movements of those chess pieces, right? First comes the king. A king can move one step at a time. He can move only one step at a time. The entire game of chess is for protecting this particular piece, king. And for the queen, she has got the greatest moves in chess. She can move in any direction. She can move straightwards, backwards, sideways, diagonally. She can move in any direction she wants. And the number of moves for a queen is unlimited. And for a rook, also called as elephant, it can move straightways or sideways. And the number of moves or number of steps are also unlimited. And for the horse, it can move 4 steps at a time in L shape, right? And bishop, it can move diagonally in any direction. And last soldier, who has got the lowest moves, who has got the least moves, he can move only 1 step at a time. Now, I have got a particular question for you. Which pieces among these chess pieces, which one of the chess piece has got the greatest power, has got the highest power? Which chess piece has got the highest power? If I ask you a question like this, obviously many of you people, you'd answer like queen. Queen has got the highest moves on chess, therefore she has the highest power on chess. But that's not true. Yes, queen is not the most powerful piece on the chess. Then which piece has got the highest power? The answer will shock you. It's the soldier. Yes, it's the soldier who has got the highest power on chess. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because the soldier has got the power to transform. Yes, once the soldier made 6 moves on the opposite side, and when it reaches the final step on the opposite side of the chess, we can change the soldier, we can transform the soldier into a queen or into a rook or into a bishop. We can change that piece into any piece we want. After making 6 steps out of opposite side, out of the enemy side, the soldier can be transformed into anything. The soldier can become into any piece it can wish. Super, isn't it? This move is called as pawn promotion. Likewise, in our life, we are not born a king, we are not born a queen. We don't born to Ambanis or Ratan Tatas. We are just a middle class fellows who works hard for our dreams, who works hard to achieve our dream. But soon, we can transform into a king or queen if we make the moves like the soldier does. We have to cross all the obstacles in our life. But once we cross all the obstacles, once we face all the challenges, on the final step, we can transform into anything we want. Like the soldier become the king or the queen, we can change into a king or queen, or to an IAS officer, to an IPS officer, or whatever you wish. You can become anyone you like. All you have to do is to cross these obstacles and challenges in your life. You can become anyone, right? And for the next one, I would like to crack the secret of making money. Many students have asked me, sir, how to make money? I will tell you the answer. Your degree will never get you a job. The degree which you are doing right now will never get you a job. Then what will? It's nothing but your skill. Your skill does. Your degree won't get you a job, but your skill does. No matter how much talented you are, your talent will fail you if you are not skilled. See, if you want to become a teacher, It's not enough to complete MSc B.Ed or MA B.Ed or BSc B.Ed like that. Degree won't be enough. You should know to teach first of all, right? You should know to teach interactively, you should know to present. That's what that will get you the teacher job. Likewise, if you want to become a music director, you should know to operate musical instruments. If you want to become a singer, you should sing well. Likewise, if you want a job, you should develop the particular skills that is needed for the job. Because skills can be achieved through practice. So, the art of making money is very simple. You should have a talent within yourself, find that talent, develop your talent into a skill, use the skill to earn. If you answer me like, sir, I don't have any talent, that doesn't work out. That means you still didn't discover yourself. You did not discover yourself yet. Start searching yourself. Definitely you should possess some talent as a human being. As human beings, we all have some talent within ourselves. See, say for example, if you see Shreya Ghosal, she has discovered that on her 4th grade, she can sing well. She has the talent of singing well. Then she converted that talent into a skill by lots of practice. Right now, she is the greatest singer of our country. Likewise, you should have some talent within yourself. Start searching yourself, find that talent and develop the talent into the skill and start making money. And still, if you don't have any talent, you can develop a new skill, right? You can develop a new skill which may be needed for your job. So the art of making money is very simple. If you have skill, you can make money, right? You see, pain is temporary. Pain is not permanent. It may last for a minute, a second, a day, a month, or even for a year. But if you endure the pain, if you continue to practice, this pain will fade away and the pain will become greatness. Because pain is temporary, but greatness lasts forever. To be a successful person or to achieve anything in your life, you have to sacrifice the current you. You have to sacrifice the current you and you have to change it into something, right? To be successful, you have to sacrifice who you are for what you are going to become. And now, I would like to ask you, according to you, who is a good teacher? I will answer for the question, okay? According to you, a good teacher is, whenever you talk while she teaches, she should not mind you. When you come late to the college, she should not ask you the reason. When you don't complete your assignments on time, she should not scold you. They should not give us any assignments on the first place. They should not ask us to behave properly using internal marks. They should not blackmail us using internal marks. So overall, according to many of us, a good teacher is the one who never cares for us or who shouldn't correct for us for the mistakes we do. Right? A good teacher is the one who never cares for us or who shouldn't correct us for the mistakes we do. And that's the bitter truth, my dear students, because we classify the staffs based on 2 categories. We separate the staffs based on 2 categories, a strict staff and a friendly staff. We always love friendly staff because they will never harm our feelings. They always give easiest works as far as possible. They won't mind whatever we do. But in case of the strict staff, you know what she does and what we do. We used to call them using pet names, nicknames behind their back. We never respect them, always blaming them for not moving the period with funny jokes and lacking of friendly behavior. Say, I want to share a short story of mine. During my 2nd semester, we have a maths teacher who is very strict. And the interesting fact is that I'm bad in mathematics and she's a strict one. Day by day, I was doing all the works she had given me. I felt very odd, I felt very tired, studied really hard by fearing for my internal marks. I cursed her literally by expecting her to act like all other friendly staffs. And then we finished the semester, our results came. After a semester, our results came. And I was shocked to see my result. I got the highest grade in mathematics than all other subjects. I was like, what? I got the highest grade in mathematics than all other subjects? And then I realized She is the only reason I got high marks in the subject I was always lagging. Yes, she is the only reason I got high marks in the subject which I was always lagging. Not only that, I realized a strict staff is always the best one. That's what that makes us perfect. But the bitter truth is that for being perfect, what they got from us, for being perfect, what they get from us, curses, hate, rude answers for their questions, right? We never respect them, we always hate them for being perfect. These are the things, these are the profit they are getting. The fact is, teaching is the only profession to get hate as profit if we act perfect. Yes, teaching is the only profession to get hate as profit if we act perfect. Very sad truth, isn't it? See, I'm a director of 2 schools and a motivational speaker. I do agriculture, but apart from all of this, I'm very proud to call myself a teacher. You, as a student, should realize that we teachers are a human being. Like you and me, we should always respect their profession and be punctual. So I want you to think as a teacher. I want you to respect our teacher. Okay? Because teaching is not a simplest thing to do, you know. They should concentrate on their profession, and also they should take care of their family. They should face all challenges. Say for example, different students are from different categories. We should cope up with all the categories of students, and we can never stay calm, we can never stay simply quiet, because we should prepare and update each and every day. We have to update ourselves, because teaching is not that we teach what we know, but first we learn and then we teach. Teaching is the art of learning. We learn each and every day for you, my dear sisters. A research implies that 71% of the female staffs are having sinus problem, you know, because they always stand behind the board. They should fight with the chalk dust. They are inhaling so much of dust from the board, right? That is why that's what's the main reason almost 70% or 80% of teachers has got sinus. Nowadays, the teachers are not getting the respect, or they are not getting exactly what they deserve. They need to be praised because they are the angels of our life. They are the angels on earth. They are taking care of ourselves, but we never appreciate their work, right? You see, they are the creators. They are the creators of all profession, all other profession. Teaching is the only profession that creates all other profession. We trust them so much. They are very friendly. You see, when we fail to pay the exam fees as a student, the first member we ask help to pay our exam fees is the teachers only, right? Many of my friends has done this. They got the amount from my teacher to pay their exam fees. They are responsible, they are courageous, they care for us, they are skillful, they are compassionate, collaborative, dynamic, and proud, right? Dedication. Teaching is the only profession which can have the term dedication. Respect, soulful, and they are always rich in mind and heart and very passionate for the job. To realize the problems, the physical problems, the mental problems of the teachers. You see, on the previous years, many students has visited me for counseling. They had visited me for the counseling for enhancing with their mind, but nowadays, it's the teachers who are visiting me for counseling. They will be like, they got so much of depression on this teaching field because students are not respecting them, students are not obeying with them properly. And they are all perfect teachers, you know. That's what I said. For being perfect, what they got as profit, curses, hate, and rude behaviors from the students. But I don't want this to happen again. Please realize the mentality of the teachers, respect them, always obey them, and be punctual to them, because I will tell you what's the real meaning of punctuality and obedience. You see, self-discipline is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishments. Okay, if you want something, if you dedicate yourself each and every day to do that right thing, then that will be called a self-discipline. But the first thing which will help you for your self-discipline is obedience. Yes, one who is obedient will naturally acquire the quality of self-discipline. Because obedience is an act of faith, but disobedience on the other sense is an act of disbelief. There will be no peace for the person who never shows any obedience to his surroundings, to teachers or to his parents, whoever they are. There will be no peace for him or her if he or she is showing no obedience at all. Because punctuality naturally lies within those who obeys their teachers. The person who doesn't respect others will never be accepted by anyone. You see, all of us what actually want us in our life. All of us want others to acknowledge us. All of us want others to like us. All of us want others to respect us. But the question is that, are we giving the same respect to others? If you want something from others, first you have to give it to others, right? If you want to be respected by others, you should respect others. If you want to be acknowledged by others, if you want to be recognized by others, you should recognize others. What you reap, you sow. What you give, you will get. So, have this thing on your mind. If you give respect to others, especially to teachers, naturally you will get the respect from others, right? Because there is a relationship between self-discipline and punctuality. Respecting others or a disciplined mind will lead to success and happiness. But those who never respect others and those who always ignore the surroundings, that means an undisciplined mind will ultimately lead to suffering. Yes, if you have good focus, you will always respect others. That will get you success and happiness. But if you ignore others, if you show disobedience on the other hand, it will be you who will get the suffering. Okay? And punctuality is not about being on time. Going college on time is not actually punctual. It's about respecting your own commitments. Yes, punctuality is not about being on time. It's all about respecting your own commitments. Okay? Are you true to your mind or not? Are you true to your heart or not? That's what the punctuality means. And which one is better? 3 hours very soon or 1 minute late? I will always say it's almost or it's always okay to come 3 hours very soon rather than 1 minute very late. Okay? See, our actions becomes our habits. Our habits naturally becomes our character. And our character becomes our personality, and our personality becomes our future, right? See, if you practice being punctual every day, this action will become your habit, and naturally you will always be punctual in your life. That will become your character, and that character becomes your personality, so that you can see success in your life while going for an interview. See, what is the aim of coming on time to college daily? If you come on time for the college daily, it means we'll always get on time for anything that is going to come in your life. Say for example, if you're going for an interview, then if you're being punctual means naturally you will go at the correct time for the interview, right? That is why being punctual is not about being on time, but it's for respecting your own commitments. Because respecting others and having self-discipline, these are the ultimate path for one to develop himself or herself. Okay? And the next thing, in the process of self-development, we have to make sure to follow the footprints of real achievers. And the process of self-development, it's very important for us to choose the right personality to follow. Right? When did celebrities become our role models? See, these celebrities which we worship, first of all, we should know the difference between dreams and fantasies, right? Enjoying a movie by appreciating the actors who acted on the movie is different than that of following them blindly. This is what we call a CWS. It is a celebrity worshipping syndrome. See, almost many of the students are undergoing this damn thing, which is CWS, celebrity worshipping syndrome, right? See, these actors or actresses, what they do, they sell fairness cream, they sell paints, bathroom products, soaps, cool drinks, hard drinks, so much of useless items got promoted by them, and we blindly worship them, And all of the sudden, you see, while seeing the comments on YouTube, I was stunned to see some of the comment of girls like Vijay Anna, Shiva Karthikeyan Anna, like that. Girls used to comment like Vijay Anna, Shiva Karthikeyan Anna. I don't know. See, I don't know how many of you are calling your real brother using the term Anna. See, I have a own sister and she never called me using the term Anna. One day, by medical miracle, she called me Anna by standing next to me. I was like, wow, butterflies, birds, angels were flying around my head. And I asked her, what's the deal, dear sister? And she was like, hey fool, I was not talking to you. I'm talking over the phone. Don't disturb. And she left. So, it's very hard to see the current generation girls to call their brother using the term Anna, but the celebrities got very lucky. But my dear girls, my dear sisters, you are very better than all of them. You are educated. You never misguide anyone by showing how to smoke or how to drink. You never expose your physical appearance for money. Therefore, you are the real heroines. You are very better than all of them. And they are just actors, our entertainers, not our role models. So, choose the right person to follow. You are unique in every way and you are born to achieve great things on this world. Instead of following a path, you can create your own path, but please don't go behind this damn fake personalities to follow. Make sure to follow the footprints of real heroes or real achievers. Okay? And so, the catalyst to self-development, the first step is to come out of your depression, and you should have your confidence and focus, because you already know self-confidence is the first step of success, right? Believing in yourself is the first step of success, and you have to deplete and eradicate fear, and you have to face the challenges without worrying about the results or outcome. It doesn't matter you win or not. All that matters is you should continue to keep going, right? And you should develop your skill for earning money, and you should have self-discipline towards your goals, and always make sure to respect others, respect your teachers, realize that they are the angels on earth, and make sure to follow the right person and make sure to follow the right role model. Okay? And that's all about my session. Hope the session helped you to develop yourself, and hope this will open the doors for you. So go pursue your dream. The world is waiting for you. And thanks for attending this wonderful session with me. And I have a request to all of you. I have a YouTube channel which is named as Karthik Speaks. You can go start searching YouTube for the name Karthik Speaks. You will be finding some videos. It's a new channel. I have started it before a month only. I want you to subscribe to the channel so that I will definitely post more and more motivational videos that will definitely be useful to you. Okay? And here I have mentioned my Facebook page, my Facebook ID and my Instagram ID. And if you have any questions or queries, you can go on. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving us a power-packed session, sir. We have a few questions from our students. I will start reading them out to you now, sir. The first one is from Ms. Sri Lakshmi Nambyar. Are my short-term actions aligned with my long-term goals?
Yeah. Are my short-term actions aligned with the long-term goals? That's a good question actually. Yes, of course, your short-term actions are aligned with your long-term goals. Why? Because you are familiar with the term connecting the dots, right? Whatever we do each and every day, it should have an impact on our future life, or it should have an impact on our future or towards our goal. Say for example, if you want to become a singer, what's the first thing you have to do? Obviously, go for singing class, and each and every day you will enhance your knowledge of singing, you will enhance your practice of singing, so that one day you can become a good singer, right? So each and every small actions will take should have a reflection on our long-term goal. If it is not having any reflection towards our long-term goal, means then we are not following the right path. Okay, therefore our short-term goals are always aligned with our long-term goals. Thank you. The next question.
Thank you for the answer, sir. The next question is, what tips or advice would you give to someone interviewing at Life Skills?
Yeah, what tips can I give to someone who's interviewing life skills is very simple. I want the person to be an inspiration for others. See, saying is very easy, but following is very difficult, right? Saying something is easy. The words which are coming out of our mouth, it's very easy to say something, but following those words would be difficult. Everyone fail on that aspect only. So, if we go for life skill in the sense, talking won't be enough. We should be an example for others to follow, for others to inspire. We should inspire others so that they will also think like he's just not a speaker, he's also a follower. We can follow his path. So, for someone who's going to interview life skills, I would recommend him or her to be an inspiration for others. Okay, thank you. Next question.
Thanks a lot for the answer, sir. The next question is again from Ms. Sri Lakshmi Nambiar. Am I taking care of my mental and physical health? Am I surrounded by right people? Am I taking enough challenges?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, I would like to congratulate Ms. Sri Lakshmi Nambiar for asking such a great question. Am I surrounded by the right persons, or am I taking care of my physical and mental health? The answer lies within you only, miss. Am I taking care of my physical and mental health? I would like to think for a few minutes within yourself. Every morning you wake up, what kind of mood you have? See, for example, you have a good mood, or you are in a right mood, or you are in a wrong mood. You have that encouragement, or you have that power of following your dreams within you or not. Say, for example, if you are in a depressed state almost all the time, if you are in a depressed state of mind, or if you are in full stress minded means, then you are not taking care of your physical and mental health. Okay, if you are feeling good all the time means it's okay, your mind is okay and your physical and mental mind both are okay, but you are always in a depressed state of mind, or you are always stressed for anything which happens in your life means you are not in a good state of mind. Okay, you are not in a good shape for your physical and mental health. And for the next answer for the question, am I surrounded by the right persons or not? That's a good question. That's the great question actually. You see, nowadays in the name of friendship, the persons who are standing next to us are encouraging for whatever things we are doing, right? The power of encouragement is great, but that encouragement should come only for the right things we do in our life, right? Sometimes what our friends do means they will encourage whatever wrong thing we do in our life in the name of friendship. Oh, you're my friend, I will encourage whatever thing you do in my life. That won't work out. A good friend or a good person or a right person should always encourage for the steps we are going to take in our life, which is obviously a good one, and for the wrong ones, they should not encourage us, right? They should always guide us in the right path. So, the persons who are surrounding you or encouraging you for the right actions or motivating you for the right actions, or are always encouraging you for your goals means you are, of course, you are surrounded by the right persons. But on the other side, in the name of friendship, if they are encouraging you for the wrong things which we are going to do, or for the wrong things which you had done, in the sense they are not the right persons to hang out with. Okay, thank you. And am I taking right challenges? For that question, the answer would be, see, if your life is full of problems, or if your life is full of difficulties means you are taking enough challenges, because you know the difference between floating water and the water which stays on a same place. Say, for example, pond. The floating water is always pure, right? Yes, the floating water is pure because it never stays on the same place. It moves from one place to another place. Likewise, are you up to the challenges in the sense, if you're facing problems and difficulties in your life means you are trying new things, right? Challenges are up to those, problems will arise for those who are trying new things. So if you are trying new things means definitely you will see these problems and difficulties in your life. So naturally, if you have problems and difficulties in your life means you are facing enough challenges in your life. On the other hand, if you don't have any problems or difficulties in your life means you are not facing enough challenges in your life, because you are not trying anything new. Okay.
Thank you for the answer, sir. The next question is from Miss Nivedita Ramani. How to eradicate fear while going for an interview, sir? Can you please suggest some tips?
Yeah, sure. That's a good question. That's a great question actually. How to eradicate fear while we go for an interview? First, we have to understand that fear is a common entity in which almost all of us have. There is no such person in this world without fear, right? It's in there, it's in here. For all of us, we have fear. But before going for an interview, obviously everyone would have fear. Say, like I told you before, every professional was once a beginner. Don't forget that every professional right now, you can go for anyone, you can set an example for anyone. If you go for A.R. Rahman, if you go for Ilayaraja, if you go for Sachin Tendulkar, every professional was once a beginner. At their first attempt, they also had fear, right? They would play with fear. They definitely had that fear within their mind. But eradicating it before going for an interview or before doing whatever we do, if you want to eradicate the fear, we should practice a lot. Say for example, if you are confident enough to answer for all the questions in which the interviewer is going to ask, then you won't fear actually, right? You have to practice a lot in front of mirror to give confident answers for the interviewer. If you do that, if you practice a lot, practice is the only answer for that question. If you practice a lot, fear won't be striking your mind. You won't focus on fear. On the other hand, you will be focusing on the right answers to present to the interviewer, right? So before going for an interview, you should be very confident in yourself. So how the confidence come in the sense? Through practice. If you practice enough to be confident for the answers which you are going to present for the interviewer, fear won't hit you, right? Otherwise, fear is there for everyone, but it should not affect our choices. It should not affect our answers, right? Out of fear, we will be telling unrelated answers to the interviewer. That won't work out. That should not happen. So if we practice enough, fear will not destroy us. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for the answer, sir. The next question is from Miss Saumya Kannan. How to shape our skills, sir?
Okay, how to shape our skills? See, there are many kinds of skills out there. It's a communication skill, professional skill, so many kinds of skills are there. First of all, you have to choose what skill you are going to enhance, right? So, for enhancing the particular skill which you want, what you have to do is very simple. You should have self-discipline. You should be very confident in learning, right? You see, every one of us wants to enhance our skills. But the thing is that when we start trying to do that, if we have any failures or if we feel it difficult, we will simply quit, we will simply give up, right? We shouldn't do that. For enhancing any skill, the main thing which we need is that never give up attitude. We should not give up. You have to realize why we have started it on the first place, right? We should have got some aim. For that only we wanted to enhance our skill. But when we feel such kind of pains or when we feel any kind of defeats on our journey, we simply quits. So we should not quit. We should have that determination in our mind. We should have that self-determination that I will never quit. I have started to enhance my skill. In that path, if any obstacle came in that path, means I should not quit. I will rise again and again and again till I land that defeat. What's the aim? What's our ultimate aim actually? Our ultimate aim is to enhance our skills, right? So till we achieve that type of enhancement on our journey, we should not give up. So never give up is the only answer for those who wish to enhance their skill. Otherwise, you can see lots of methods are there to enhance your skill. You can follow your books, you can go for online resources. See, lots of resources are available for us to enhance our skill. The only thing we have to do is we should not give up till we achieve that final point of the greatest enhancement. We should not give up till we achieve what we want in our life. Okay.
Thank you for the answer, sir. The next question is from Miss Ashwika JS. How to overcome laziness and fear that acts as an obstacle to achieve our goals?
Yeah, that's a very great question actually. How to overcome laziness and fear? The simple answer to your question is There is no today and there is no tomorrow. See, laziness, where it comes. Say if you go for an example of setting an alarm, we all wish to wake up early in the morning, but when the alarm goes on, we simply snooze it, right? We will be telling our mind like, let's sleep for 5 more minutes. Let's sleep for another 5 more minutes. We will be telling our mind like this. So when the alarm rings, what we do? We go for the snooze mode. Because we come up with an answer at that time, let's go for another 5 minutes. Because there will always be another option, right? So if you want to do something, we thought like, let's do it tomorrow. Let's enjoy now. Let's enjoy today and let's do it tomorrow. So the simple tip to overcome laziness is to forget these two terms, today and tomorrow. There is no tomorrow, there will be no today and there will be no tomorrow. You forget these two terms. On the other hand, you should have only one term on your mind, which is right now. Whatever you want to do, right now is the best time to do it. Whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to start, this is the best time. This minute, this second is the best time to start anything you wish to do in your life, right? So the answer for that question is, there is no today and there will be no tomorrow. All that we have is right now, this minute and this second. If we have this thought in our mind continuously, means we will simply eradicate fear as well as laziness. And through fear, I already told you, practice is the only thing that eradicate fear, so that fear will be replaced by confidence. Okay.
Thank you, sir. The next question, what is the best action to take when nothing else works?
You see, what we have to do when the things we plan doesn't work out in the way we want. The answer is very simple. We should not lose our heart. See, all of us have problems. All of us always work out something in our life. We are not sure whether it will work out or not, but we have to try, right? If you want the things to work out in the way you want, means you have to do it on a perfect manner. By following these things again and again, you will come to know that there will be a set of mistakes you would have done if the things doesn't work out in the way you want, right? So you have to realize that mistakes first of all. What mistakes you have done, you have to realize it, and you have to make sure that you didn't do it again. You didn't repeat the same mistake again. Next time you try the same thing, right? In that sense, things will work out in the way you want. Don't think negatively that what will happen, what we have to do if the things we plan doesn't work out in the way we want. Instead, you should thought like, what has to be done for the things we are going to do will work out in the way we want. Okay. But if it happen, if you fail, means I simply don't lose your heart. You try it again, you try it again. You realize the last mistake which you have done and you equalize it next time, so that you will land in the success path. Okay. Next.
That was a very good answer, sir. Thank you so much for that. The next question is from Ms. Sahana Pari. What is the best source to get motivated?
See, what is the best source to get motivated? The answer for this question doesn't lie on a single source, you know. The best source to get motivated is everything. Yeah, we can get motivated using all the things we come up on your day-to-day life. See, how I get motivated every day in the sense means I made a chart of myself writing, I will become a great motivational speaker. Like that, I make a chart and I paste it in front of my board, in front of my bed. So every day I wake up, I will see that first thing as soon as I wake up. So it will hit my mind to focus. It will hit my mind to follow my dreams, right? Not only that, we are using our cell phones for many times in a day, right? We are using our cell phones almost frequently in our life. So what can we do is we can use these screensavers and wallpapers to constantly motivate us. Whenever I open my cell phone, some motivational quote will come. It's a customizable motivational quote which I made for myself. Like that, you can make some such motivational quotes on your smartphone as wallpapers and screensavers, right? So the source of getting motivation is a vast one, right? You can get motivated using any source you want. See, you simply go for a shop. There you can see, you can take an account of Coconut Cutter. What he actually does, he usually works day to day. He works very hard by climbing the trees all by himself, and he's bringing those coconuts to sell to us, right? So you can get motivated from this simple fact also. So for the source of motivation, all we need is our mind and our attitude. You can get motivated using any source you want. So for getting motivated, there is no such kind of single source for that. You can get motivated using all the things that happen around you, right? Thank you.
Thank you for the answer, sir. The next question is from Ms. Shivangi Mandal. Sir, what is the solution when self-motivation doesn't work?
When self-motivation fails to work. So what do you mean by self-motivation first of all? It's the inner spirit that lies within us to follow our dream, to achieve our goals, right? When it fails actually is when we get distracted. When we get distracted, self-motivation doesn't work, right? We'll be distracting by something else. So you have to find that distractions. Say for example, you want to do something in your life. Say if you want to start a YouTube channel, in the sense you want to start a YouTube channel. Let us say that you want to start a YouTube channel, but you didn't do it yet because you would have gone with something else. You would have doing something else like playing games or spending time with your family, right? There your self-motivation fails you. Then what the first thing you have to do is you should reduce all the obstacles that doesn't let you to follow your dreams. Say for example, if I'm addicted to a game, if I'm addicted to any game that doesn't let me to follow my dream, means what the first thing I have to do is I have to uninstall the damn game. Okay, I have to uninstall that damn game so that I will follow my dream. So when self-motivation fail, in the sense when we are getting distracted, self-motivation will fail. So what we have to do is we have to destroy that distraction. If we destroy that distraction within a fraction of a second, then we don't have any other choice to do. We will automatically follow behind our dreams. We will automatically go behind our dreams. Okay.
Thanks for the answer, sir. The next question is from Ms. Saumya Kannan. Sir, could you share the challenging experiences you encountered in your successful journey of life?
Yeah, thanks a lot for asking me that question, because so that I got a chance to share one of my challenging situations in my life. See, in the year 2017, I got a biggest chance which I always dreamed of. I got a chance to present a motivation program for 30,000 school students on a college. This particular college wants me to present a motivation program for 30,000 school students from 3 districts. I was so excited. Wow, this is what I always dreamed of, right? But a challenge is there for me. An obstacle is there for me. Actually, I was doing my PhD on that college. The college which I was doing my PhD wanted me to present a motivation program for 30,000 school students, but my PhD guide, who was one of the staffs for that college, who were working as one of the staff for that college, he doesn't want me to do that program. He doesn't want me to present that program. I don't know what's troubled him at that time. He simply asked me to quit that program. Karthik, don't accept this program. Please don't do it. He told me like that. And I was shocked, sir, why? This is my dream, this is my passion, and this is the chance I have been waiting for in my entire life. Almost 3 district students are going to come. It's from Chennai, Kanjapuram and Viluppuram, I guess. 3 district students, almost 30,000 school students are going to visit that college, and I got invited as the speaker. This is my greatest chance. This is the greatest chance in my life. Please let me do it, sir. I asked him, but still he refused He refused to that. Please don't do that program. Please don't do any program for this college. Simply ask them that, simply tell them that you're not interested. He wants me to reject that offer from the college. So I was caught in a dilemma. He was my PhD guide. What can we do? Either to obey him so that I continue my PhD, or to reject his offer to pursue my dream. I was in a dilemma for these 2 chances. 2 choices are there for me. 2 choices are there for me. First one, I can continue my PhD, but I have to forget that chance. I have to quit my passion. I have to forget that program, right? And another choice is that I can follow my dream, but I have to quit my PhD. But with the help of my parents, with the help of my dad, I locked option 2. I chose my dream, I continued my career, I pursued my dream. I accepted the offer from that college, and I did the program for that 30,000 school students in the year 2017, which was the biggest milestone in my career till right now. That was the biggest moment in my life. 30,000 students attended my motivation, and my name got well versed around those 3 districts. Everyone praised me, and I became a great motivational speaker at that time. So the hardest choice I made is I quit my PhD at that time. But I didn't regret it now, because right now I'm doing my PhD also, and I didn't miss my chance. I didn't miss the opportunity either. So that was my one of the challenging thing which happened in my life, in my career. Thank you for making me to remember those incidents. Thank you.
That was truly inspiring, sir. Thanks a lot. The next question is from Ms. Ashwika JS. How to overcome unnecessary thoughts that distract us?
How to avoid distractions? That's a good question actually. Very simple. The answer for that question is very, very simple. For any distractions you have in your life, you have a source, right? Say for example, if you are getting distracted by a TV, means there the television is the distraction source, right? You simply turn it off. Likewise, you are wasting your time on a smartphone, means what app particularly you are wasting your time. Say for example, you will be playing some kind of games or some kind of hello app, or that useless, so many apps are there, right? You have to start uninstalling those apps. So to avoid distractions, you have to avoid the sources which made you to distract, right? Lots of sources are there. See, distraction will never come without any source. So find that source of distraction and eliminate it in your life, so that you will never have any distraction hereafter. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next question is from Ms. Harshini Priya. Sir, after getting married, women tend to lose their individuality. Is it the women's fault for not standing up, or the man's fault for dominating?
Yeah, that's a great question actually. You see, after marriage, women tend to lose their individuality. But that's not true nowadays, you know. You can see lot of IT employees over there are women only, right? They are girls only, right? If you see before independence or after some years, after some years of independence, there was many protocols were there for women to get easily depressed, or many protocols are there which never allowed women to even come out of their homes. They were even afraid of coming out of their homes, right? But you see, the world is changing nowadays. Nowadays, women are almost women have entered in almost every field. Almost all the field they have entered. Almost in all the fields they have entered, and they are doing wonders. They are doing miracles, right? They are discovering many things, almost equal to men, equal to boys. In sports also, right? In sports also, they are shining in each and every field. So I would like to advise you to not to have this attitude, because even after marriage you can work. You should never thought like after marriage our freedom will get spoiled. You never thought like that. Okay. Even nowadays, some families wants the girl to go for job after the marriage, because economy is the biggest problem nowadays, right? See your professors, see your lecturers on your college. You are studying in Ethiraj Women's College. See your lecturers. They are working even after their marriage, right? Can you make sure that all of them are single persons? Absolutely not. 70% of them are married already, right? So because after marriage, women will never lose individuality in the current generation. Maybe in the previous generations, before some 20 or 30 years, women find it very difficult to shine in the society, but not right now. Okay, the world is changing. I wish you good luck. I wish you all the best. Even after your marriage, you will definitely go for the choices you make. You will definitely achieve whatever you want to do in your life. Okay, you will never lose your individuality, and you will always succeed in your life. Okay, Think positive. The world is changing. It's not the previous world anymore. Okay.
Thank you, sir. The next question, perhaps the last one, is from Miss Sahana Pari. What is the distinguishing difference between self-discipline and self-control?
What's the difference between self-discipline and self-control? It's very simple, you know. Self-discipline in the sense, what do you mean by self-discipline? First of all, you have a dream, you have to follow it without any distractions. You have to focus towards your dream. See, you plan for something to achieve means you have to follow that plan. Dedication comes when you go for self-discipline. Okay, you alone should follow your dreams, and you have to blindly dedicate yourself in achieving your dream. Right? You have to spend each and every day of your life for that particular thing to achieve. Right? This is called as self-discipline. A set of protocols to be followed for achieving your particular dream, where dedication and focus plays the vital part. In terms of self-control comes where you have to play with your emotions, right? We got plenty of emotions. We have anger, sadness, sorrow, sexual desires. We have lots of emotions within ourselves. We need to control these emotions. We need to learn to show these kinds of emotion at the right place at the right time, right? Sometimes it's good to show our emotions, but sometimes it's good not to show our emotions, right? So controlling our emotions on the best time, playing with our emotions on a best time, exhibiting our emotions using the right amount of time with the right amount of emotions comes under self-control. We have to control, sometimes we have to control our anger, sometimes we have to control our sadness so that we can act normal, right? That self-control plays a vital part, and self-discipline is completely different from self-control. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for taking time to answer all the questions, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot for this wonderful webinar session. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best in your life. Please be safe. Always use hand sanitizers, use face mask. I want all of you to stay safe, and please don't forget that we should not follow social distancing. Okay, this may be a shock for you. No, you should not follow social distancing, just you follow physical distancing. Social distancing is completely different than that of physical distancing. Social distancing in the sense, you should not distance from anyone socially, because we as human beings are always there for another one. If there was any problem happening means we should support each other, right? We can stay apart from each other using a physical distance, not social distance. Our mind should always be connected. I am always there for you, you are always there for me. That's what I call as a support, mental support, right? So please follow physical distancing, but never follow social distancing. Always support everyone in terms of your mind and in terms of your words. Follow physical distancing, avoid social distancing. Thank you.
Thank you for taking time to answer all our questions, sir. May I now request Dr. Anusha Balasingh, the Dean of Students, to take over the session for a formal vote of thanks.
I deem it a great honor to propose a vote of thanks on the final day of the webinar series organized by Eti Shakti, the Students' League of Ethiraj College for Women. At the outset, I thank the chairperson, Mrs. Chandra Devi Tanikachalam, and the Board of Trustees, Ethiraj College for Women, for their motivation. I express our heartfelt thanks to Madam Principal, Dr. Mrs. S. Kodai, for giving us permission and support throughout the conduction of the webinar series. I thank Vice Principals, Dr. D.B. Usha Rani and Dr. T. Usha Priya, for the encouragement. I thank all the heads of the department and faculties to support us in the students' participation. I extend our sincere thanks to our speaker, Mr. Karthikeyan Shanmugam, Executive Director, Chairman of Kennedy Educational Institutions. Thank you, sir, for delivering lecture on life skills, the catalyst to self-development. We are sure that your address has inspired our students to tap out their hidden talents and develop their life skills for comprehensive growth. I also take the opportunity to thank all the speakers of the webinar series who have enlightened our students. I take this time to thank the Dean of Students, Dr. T. Punithavati, for her meticulous guidance throughout the conduction of the webinar series. I thank Dr. Ajita, Dr. Ganga, and Dr. Archana for arranging sessions with eminent speakers, and Mrs. Satyaprabha for editing e-manuscripts, Archana for moderating, and Gracie for the drafts and thank notes throughout the entire series. I thank Ms. Yamini, Mrs. Radhika, and Ms. Tilaka for her immense technical support. I take this time to appreciate all the student participants for their enthusiastic, interesting interactions in all the sessions of the webinar series. And we hope that the series would have provided ample hopes and ideas to be executed. Thank you.